Hey there, Simmers! Welcome back. Today we have a build video, and this video is for the Mint family of our Not So Berry challenge. If you don't know or haven't watched the videos, we are doing the Not So Berry challenge, and we are still in the first generation. However, we are expanding a lot in family size, so now we need a larger house. Originally, we just had one girl, Ava. She's our founder. We had a tiny house for her. She got a husband and then a child. And then we brought in Cash, who was just kind of a friend who kind of was like, hey, do you want to live together? And we were like, sure. And then he had a midlife crisis and brought in his wife, Nikki. Well, we found her, and then they have a kid. So we have several kids. We have 2 with a third on the way, and we have 4 adults. So we're expanding here to this house. As you can see, I put the 2 little buildings in the back that were from our original house, and then building this new one. That way we have the same sort of aesthetics, and that's because we are still the mint generation. So we still want to have some sort of minty green stuff and the same style. So I am just expanding basically on the layout, trying to get as many bedrooms in as I want. Sometimes I start with the exterior and then design the interior. This way I'm doing the other way. I'm doing the interior, designing the exterior after. The problem with that is then, I have a lot of trouble with roofs when I kind of do it this way. But here I'm starting to add at least some of the glass in for the roof, but then I go back to doing the windows and the layout because it seems to be more important. When I laid out the bedrooms and the bathrooms, I had a lot of thoughts about what I wanted and how I wanted them to work. But the back area, which is like the public common area, I didn't really have much thoughts for other than I wanted it to be like a larger open space. So right now it's just kind of like a large box and it remains that way. This is adding in a kitchen area. I like to lay out just a couple of items sometimes in order to see if everything fits or looks right. Like with that dining room, the table not lining up with that window, that will come, that will force my hand to change things a little bit, but that's okay because that's how we go when we're building. I wanted to keep that little greenhouse area and I stuck it on the back. I'm not sure it's going to stay there, but for now it will. Now I'm playing around with that dining room area and saying like, oh, can I make this like an asymmetrical window layout by having the 4 and then the 2? And that worked out nicely. And this is kind of a good area for the whole living room. I was like, I don't know, should I change the shape? Like, how's the roof gonna look? But I was like, you know what, let's just keep it for now. Go through, do the roof, see if anything kind of pops up that's like a better alternative. So now I'm trying to get the roof, and this took me a little while, and I don't know if I'm totally satisfied with the way that it came out, but I think for what we have, it was kind of the best option. I'm taking a lot of aesthetics from the old house. There you can see where I'm doing like this one, this one, this one, this one, one at a time. And then for the newer space, I was like, well, let's try to put more of these roofs together and also leave out the holes for the bathroom. So I wanted each bathroom to have a window, but since they're sort of in the interior of the build, in order to do that, we have like light wells. But I think it actually turned out to be pretty okay, and I put some green stuff in there, which will probably come out in the next video, the next play video, instead of the build video. Manipulating some of the roofs here, thinking how I want that greenhouse area to work in with the roofs. So originally I was like, okay, well maybe we'll just do sort of 2 different roofs there. Maybe bump 1 or 2 back, rearrange some of the windows, doing the asymmetrical again. I do really like that asymmetrical, so we keep that. And then just kind of having the roof there, switched it around on the greenhouse so it follows. I did kind of go through this, turning them all the other way so that we have like one like swoop from the front almost. So this way it looks like it's flowing, but then I sort of backtrack a little. We'll see that eventually. Or maybe I leave it. I don't know. I thought that maybe I was taking it out, but I might just have ended up leaving it. I debated on putting a piece of glass in there, but the problem is that you don't actually see it on the level below. And I was like, well, okay, so what's the point in that if you don't even like see it below? So I just took it back out again. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, this is a mint house. Can I add like minty things in here? But the problem is like one roof that's like almost all mint and like some glass. I mean, it kind of looks funny to have like mint only on that one side. So I was like, can I like fit in like a little section of mint in here? Kind of glancing at the layout again, then taking everything out. And this is when I go in and I grab the family and bring them in so that way they have the stuff. And I chose to move them from the map view instead of like their view going through phone to move. Sometimes it works better because you're able to like avoid seasons and you're able to set up the time any way you want. And this is my just pulling out some lighting to get things in here so that way we can see what's going on. And then I grab a lot of the same finishes just to start. It's a kind of like reference to the rooms that I want. And then I was like, oh, this is actually like my, custom content sort of build. Like this is the family where I'm using all that stuff. So I should use that in here now. So I actually do incorporate as many custom content, wallpapers, floors, fixtures, things as I can. Although I do still try to use their own things that came from like the other house because we don't have a ton of money. Like we do have 30,000, which is a really good amount. But some of the custom content stuff, like the one fridge I have is like 18 grand. And I was like, well, that's going to cut into our budget just a little bit. So I'm setting up the rooms, deciding where I want certain things to be. The nursery is the one that has the puffer head one. So that's the white wainscoting with the blue and the stars. And then the rose bedroom in the front is, of course, Maddie Rose's. And then the other one's going to be Jacoby's. So the new baby will be in the nursery. Jacoby will be in that, the other room. And then Maddie Rose will be in the front. This was hard for me. I wanted to have an accent wall here and I had no idea what to do with it. And then I also wanted something a little different in the kitchen area. And I went through so many different ones. A lot of them are so beautiful, these custom content wallpapers. And I just could not decide which one I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted brick or like a stone. And I ended up using, that like white vertical board for the accent in the living room. And that stays no matter how many like other things I go through. Here I'm setting up a couple of the basics. So a couple kitchen items, trying to see how everything fits together. I do add a second set of lower cabinets there in the bathroom or in the bedroom. Oh my gosh, in the kitchen, which you'll see in a minute. I decided to put the offices in the bedrooms for now. Like if they have a computer, it's basically in the bedroom. And that's because we don't have an office space yet. I did think about putting in a second floor and potentially having it up there. But for now, I'm just keeping everything down here. Kind of like an aging in place thought. So keeping everything low, but it's also easier during game mode to play everything on one floor. Rearranging the bathroom here for the kids, getting in as many things as I can for the fixtures and appliances, pulling out a bunch of the tables and chairs, putting them in the correct places because some are, the same colors. Other ones are, like we had the mint side tables and one was pink. And I was like, okay, well that goes to Maddie's, but the mint one stays here. The sleeping bags from the stayover or the slumber party, I guess just stay. I pulled out the dog's things because I forgot that the dog is no longer alive. So I pulled out all of his stuff. And then eventually I see the urn and I'm like, oh my gosh, did the dog die while we were moving? And then I was going back and editing the end of the last video. And I was like, oh no, he died at the sleepover. So spoiler if you didn't know that, but if you'd already watched it, then not a spoiler. But I don't know if he will stay in the urn. Now that we've moved house, I don't know if he'll be in there. So I hope he is. I really wanted to bring him in as a ghost dog, so we'll see. I have no idea what to do with the leaves there, so I have to rearrange some of the windows to get them in because I wanted to still keep them around. I didn't realize how many like knickknacks and things were in this house until I started having to like rebuild again. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many clutter items in here. And it was like bear to try to move them all out. Putting in all of the things on the windows and seeing like, oh, do I want to actually have things protected in the front? So pulling out all the curtains for that. And then the fruits, yeah, they're on the table because you can't pull them out like all together. You have to pull them out one at a time. And you can't put them in the fridge. You have to like go into live mode to put them in the fridge. So that happens. All our lovely gnomes that just came out. The toys. I've decided to move most of the toys into Jacoby's room because Maddie's going to be growing up into a teenager soon. And she doesn't have a ton of space in her room. So it's just about trying to find a balance of where to put things. Lots and lots of clutter items. Safety with the smoke alarms. Putting in some of the extra lights from our house so that way we have like the right color because I just had some of those saucer ones in first. And finishing up the decoration of their bedroom. I should probably get a couple more things in there. Oh, the all-important toilet paper. Had to bring that out too. Nice light fixture for that front area. Maddie's room gets one. Do I change that to a pink or a red? Should go back and look at my build because I can't remember if I left her lights as mint or not. Checking out all of the decorations to put in. I like the little balloons hanging up in the nursery. I think that's really cute. Oh yeah, and I forgot to put the stuff in the light well, so I'm starting that now. But then the other thing too was the collection of, was it the metals or the geodes, whatever they were? They came out of the collection box, so I had to put them all back, and in order to do that you have to lay them all out on the floor. So you'll see I get around to that eventually. Finishing up some of the main bathrooms. I will get to Kesh and Nikki's bathroom eventually, but we're putting in all of this stuff first. Deciding where to put the fan in the greenhouse. I do end up moving that again. Filling it out. Stuff everywhere. Don't know what to do with the presents. We don't have like a storage area. So I don't know, storage area. I might just put in an attic for like a storage area eventually. Oh, the elements. That's what it's called. The element collection. So I have to put all the elements on the floor in the bedroom and then in live mode, move them back in. Oh, here I am organizing the marriage licenses. So that was fun. And the baby prints. So we have Maddie's and Jacoby's. We'll be adding the third one soon. Couple of plants and green things in the area. Last minute clutter items. I don't think there's any more big moves that I make in here, just a little bit, I think, on the exterior. After this video, I do some landscaping, and that's because I hate doing landscaping while recording. So I just did it afterwards. It just takes me so long, and it's not my favorite thing. So I'll do that, and then you'll see it in the next video. So there's the Furry Buddies urn. And I forgot, so I put him in on the bench over there because I wasn't sure what else to do with him at the moment. Music, I don't even remember where that music was. Oh, it was in the work shed, and I put it in the hallway, so I might have to move it back to the work shed. Putting in her fun science-y stuff. The lights, I could not figure out. I was like, where did I have all of this stuff previously? Like, I feel like there's so much here, but I don't even remember where it was going. Laying out one of the larger bathrooms there for Nikki and Cash. Putting some more of the candles and stuff around. I love that candle that came in that newer kit. So we love that. And then figuring out where to put the chessboard, which is why eventually I will take out the little like sleeping bags and then add the dining room furniture, which isn't in at all yet. Yeah, so I put these in, and then I end up changing it to some custom content later, a little off camera. So that is the build for now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.